Hey guys, what's going on? I got an awesome video for you guys. So Bastien here is actually one of my YouTube ad course students, and he actually generated over $300,000 at a 10x ROAS for a high ticket sales client. And I wanted to kind of interview him to ask him about, some of the techniques he's using, creatives, optimization, etc. But Bastien, I want to say welcome to the YouTube channel. And yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. To introduce a bit about myself, so I can say I run an agency specialized on YouTube ads since quite a while now. I work with different industries, from trading client to love coach. I work also with MLM clients, low ticket training, yeah, a lot of clients. And I'm especially, as you can see, as you can hear, as I'm based on the French market, French-speaking market, because I'm French. The French market includes what I call the big five, we can say. So France, of course, but also Belgium, Switzerland, Luxembourg, despite it's quite a small country, but there's still good money to make there. And also we target a lot Canada, I mean the French part of Canada, Quebec. And more we try also to test some market like African market, especially Maghreb, so North Africa, because we can see people are buying more and more interested in buying through ads. So it's a kind of a emerging market, very interesting, we can say. So yeah, basically that's
Awesome.
what I'm doing.
That's very cool. And so this client that you mentioned, you guys did 300K last year for them at 10x ROAS. So this is basically, you mentioned they're a sales coaching client, like they teach people how to
Yeah,
do sales.
exactly. So he specializes in trading. Like he teach people how to invest in forex, this kind of stuff. And basically he collects leads, especially first through his YouTube channel, because we will talk about that I think later. But he has a big YouTube channel, and then he sells a coaching, not a coaching but a training, like 1K dollars training through ads and organic. It's a double strategy for him.
Got it. So it's a trading client. So basically they do
Trading client.
finance, like Forex,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Got it. Oh yeah, that's a very lucrative niche. And what does
Yeah.
their sales process look like? Is it basically like a phone call, or is it just a straight to webinar?
It's not neither. It's just collecting leads, funnel, and then through email marketing, direct selling, and so it's pretty basic, pretty simple, we can say, but it's working very well. I think the one of the most important thing, one of the biggest reason of the success of that is, as I just said, the YouTube channel, because it's a big YouTube channel. I would say now around 70K subscribers, so it's quite big. And it's also something very important, the personality of the guy, because he has a very provocative personality. He likes to kind of show off. He lives in Dubai, so he likes to drive a big how do you say, a Ferrari or this kind of stuff. So this strategy, it's a bit either you will be hated, either you will be loved. We can say that to resume a bit. And if people, since he doesn't care to be hated, he's still loved by another part of the audience. And of course, if people love, they will buy. So it's really the strategy, very based on the we can say personality of the guy and of the personal branding, we can say. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because basically one thing I've noticed is in markets like the French market, the Brazilian market, Ferraris, Lambos, etc., they work super well. While in the U.S. market, people are getting tired of that, and people are starting to be like, okay, they don't really like that kind of marketing anymore, or they still do to an extent, but it's getting a little bit more sophisticated. So it's interesting to see the market sophistication levels in a country like France. You're still like 4 or 5 years behind. So somebody who can take an offer that works in the US market, translate to the French market, can do extremely well, right? Like it's very simple in that way. And you can just do things that are a lot easier to do in the French market. So that's super cool. And I'm curious, in terms of the ad optimization and targeting options, right? Like what kind of targeting options are you finding work in this market?
So basically, the remarketing is working pretty well. Thanks to the YouTube channel, we can use a lot of remarketing audience, like the likes, the subscribers, the views, simply. We used to use the remarketing audience a lot, maybe too much. And we waited kind of too much to use a cold audience. And to be honest, we started recently, not so long ago, to test cold audiences because it was so much money, the marketing, so much easy money, you can say, but a few months ago, we started to use cold audience, like, in market, affinity, custom intent. And I have to say, it's kind of amazed me. It worked pretty well, even almost better. I wouldn't say better, but so far I would say quite even, And I think more and more we will use this kind of cold audience, because now the data are so massive, in terms of numbers, because we're running those campaigns since quite a while. Now I think that the algorithm is really, is really hot, I can say. So definitely now we will accelerate the scaling by using this kind of audience, like in-market, affinity, custom intent. It's kind of booming for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you got account and you've been running ads in it for a while and you've got a lot of conversions, the algorithm just goes and you can go pretty broad with the audience. And that's what I love about YouTube, right? Like once you get an account converting, once you got conversion data, you can just keep, basically spending on these big, broad audiences and basically be able to scale up from there. And that's very interesting that you mentioned that you guys started out with retargeting the YouTube channel and, obviously a website. So that's like an easy first step for people who have large YouTube audiences, right? So you're able to actually leverage that data, which you can't really do on Facebook, right? Like a YouTube account is pretty much useless if you're doing Facebook ads. So that's very cool as well. So one thing I'm curious about is in terms of the creative, are you guys following a particular script, or who's shooting the video? Is it the guy who sells the course, or is it a spokesperson?
Is working personally with someone with a local agency, you can say, in video making. So I don't touch about that, but the guy is pretty good in terms of branding, personal branding, and he knows how to catch attention. He knows we don't even have to tell him, okay, you need to do this kind of video script, blah blah blah. No, he knows how to do that, and he's very, as I told you, he's very provocative, you can say, and he's very good in branding. So he always have the good hook. And the good thing, I can say, it's a good client because we don't have to tell him about that. And he regularly send new creatives always. Then you can test, we can test as much as we can. So basically, every month we try new creatives. Every month, every weeks almost, we try new creative. And now we have a lot of a big database of creatives, and of course we have some winning ads. And yeah, it's so no particular process. Okay, the guy is handling well. Lucky me. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's always great when you got a client or you're working with somebody who's very creative and they can come up with their own ads and they do well. Typically, our process is to script ads and then basically tell the client how to shoot them. Sometimes there are clients who are a little bit less, charismatic on camera simply because that's not their thing. Nobody's good at everything. And in that case, what we do is we'll go on Upwork or Fiverr and find a spokesperson and get a spokesperson to make an ad. So that kind of has worked well for us, where we've actually used spokespeople ads to get pretty good results with some of our campaigns. Okay, that's super interesting. And I'm curious, in terms of basically bidding, are you guys using more target CPA or maximize conversions for this campaign?
So to be honest, when I started this account, it's been a while ago. I was not so skilled in YouTube ads yet. So what I was doing, I was using max CPV, CPV max CPV, whatever, because I saw some YouTube video explaining that it was the best strategy to use on YouTube ads. And after watching you training, after following your training, I totally changed the strategy because I noticed it was not performing so well. So I switched to maximize conversions. We still have some campaigns doing this kind of bidding strategy, but now I will say like maybe 70% are based on target CPA, and we can see it perform definitely better on the long run, we can say. And for most of my clients, yeah, we have like 70-80% of target CPA campaign after 5-6 months, we can say. So it's like 80-20, you know. But CPV, max CPV, I totally gave up on that. It's over.
Yeah, we gave up on that like over a year and a half ago. I don't know, it was a while ago. And in my earlier videos, I talked about, okay, you start with manual CPV, but after 2019, we basically just switched to maximize conversions to start accounts off, and then target CPA once it was a bit more mature. Nowadays, like we'll sometimes start target CPA from the get-go. If it doesn't spend, we'll do max CPA conversions. But right now, it's probably the same split, right? Like 70 to 8% target CPA and 20% maximize conversions. Those are the two bidding types. Manual CPV, honestly, not really worth using in 2021. Cool, that's very interesting to know. And in terms of basically what you guys are going to be doing in terms of next steps for scaling this client, what does that look like? What's the plan for this year in terms of scaling them?
To be honest, one plan would be to try some new geographic targeting, maybe. It's something we started to try to test. I thought it wouldn't work to test, for example, to target Africa or some or the world, let's say the world, because we have people coming to the YouTube channel from anywhere in the world, you know, it's like some expats or some digital nomad in whatever, in Vietnam, in Costa Rica, some French speaking people, but based there. And we noticed that we got quite a lot of sales actually. So it might be the next step to becoming worldwide. Of course, still on the based on the French language, but since we saw some crazy sales in country like Morocco or Senegal or Burkina Faso, you know, so even in Vietnam or some countries like that. So basically, potentially everywhere. So I think we definitely will put a big budget on that, on the planet, let's say, remarketing planet. Also, we tried recently to use to remarket people using display ads, and it's working pretty well also. To for example, retarget people who visited the checkout page or the sales page, and we have a insane ROAS with display. So YouTube ads and display ads, for me, it's a perfect combination.
Yeah, it's a great combination. And then I also like to throw in branded search, right? So it's like, you know, because YouTube, they'll find out about your name, and then branded search, they'll search your name, and you want to be number one. You know, even if you are number one organically, you still want that ad space taken up so your competitors can't get it. So YouTube, display retargeting, branded search, all of those combined just, you know, are a great, powerful combination. And yeah, interesting thing you said about going worldwide. What we actually noticed is for some of our high ticket clients and basically course sellers, we found that retargeting worldwide actually worked really well, because there were a lot of people buying in random countries like Colombia, like, you know, Singapore, Vietnam. Singapore actually is one you should even target to cold traffic if you're an English speaker, because English speaking is there's a lot of English speakers in Singapore, right? And they buy high ticket courses, right? Singapore's a very rich country. And but then even if you're, let's say, going for these other countries, what you can do is you can just target in the language you're selling the course in, because we've seen there's a big digital nomad expat community all over the world. So often we can see very cheap cost per sale retargeting some of these countries. Now, would I do cold traffic to some of these countries? It's potential. It's not worth, it might be worth testing, but it's definitely where retargeting worldwide is something that I recommend. Obviously, if you see like a country like India is taking up a lot of spend and not getting any results, you cut it off. But we've definitely seen that expanding geography helps. And in the English market, for example, a lot of people just target the US, but you have the US, you have Canada, you have Australia, you have the UK, you have Singapore, you have South Africa, where there's a lot of English speakers. You have the Scandinavian countries, so Norway, Finland,
New Zealand, New Zealand,
Sweden, New Zealand as well. So there's a lot of different geographies you can expand out to and get pretty good results with. Cool. And yeah, I'm curious, in terms of your journey with YouTube ads, how did you decide to start doing YouTube ads, right? Like, what was the reason you decided to try doing it?
Um, I've always been a big YouTube fan. Before YouTube ads, I was a YouTube fan. I have a YouTube channel. I run a YouTube channel since 2016 or 17, I will say, in French, of course. I have something like 30, between 30 and 40K. So it's quite a big YouTube channel, I can say. And I just love the video marketing, the way to produce video, to make video. I just love the format. I found it. I found Facebook ads boring. No offense to Mark, okay, but I find it boring. Google search for me it's a bit boring. Also, I love to. I have a creative mind, and I love to the dynamism of the video. And I know something like in terms of opportunity also, because I think like maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's something like 80% of the web content is in the video format or something like that, including Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. But because it's a sign that people want video, they want more and more video. There are more and more movies on Netflix, etc. More and more YouTube channel. So people are craving for video. So it's something I love, and it's an opportunity. So that's why I came into YouTube ads pretty recently, not so long ago, we can say. And I still love it, and I will love it for a while, I think.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm curious, what was like in terms of the YouTube ads kind of process of, you know, going from zero to going from advanced? What was some of the things that you found most useful? What are the resources you used? How did you kind of get from that, you know, okay, I'm going to try YouTube ads to like making 300K for a client?
To be honest, I started very basic stuff like watching some YouTube videos. You start with free content, of course. Then I bought one or two trainings in French. I was not so satisfied with the quality. It was not so advanced, not enough. And I started to watch your video. I found your group, and someday I say, okay, fuck it, and I bought your training. And I like the fact that there was a group, private group for the students of the training, and it's the biggest value I can say, to have a group or where we can discuss, where we can ask you questions. The value of the training is insane, really. And I like the fact that you make some updates regularly. Like I think it's like the third update you're gonna make soon, something like that. So it's okay, guys. Shashi is not paying me for saying that. Okay, true story. So yeah, I can say your training helped me a lot through my journey, and I don't hesitate. Maybe you saw me a lot on the group. I ask a lot of questions. We like 2, 3, 5 maybe in the group to ask questions weekly. And I think that's the best way if you want to progress in YouTube ads, in Facebook ads, whatever. You ask the best. You ask the best. You try to get closer to them, and that's the only way you can boom in your niche, I can say. So I just follow this path, and it's doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, I appreciate the kind words, man, and keep asking those questions. You know, it's everybody learns a lot when people ask questions. You know, it's a good opportunity. It gives me good ideas on what lessons to cover, or gaps that perhaps I need to fill. And yeah, man, like I'll keep updating the course. I really appreciate that. And yeah, man. So how can people find out more about you or reach out to you?
So I think it's not necessary to share my YouTube channel since it's in French. So I can say they can find me on my Facebook profile simply because my website same it's in French. Bastien Devaux, it's my name. Okay, Desveaux. You can find me simply on Facebook and contact me.
I'll have a link.
If you feel like. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'll put in a link. Yeah, and I'll put in a link to your YouTube channel because I'm sure there are a lot of people who, you know, speak French who follow my content and buy my course. So it's definitely would be good for them to reach out to you, you know, because it seems like the French market with YouTube ads is doing super well. I know another group member and student, Kelly, he's doing well in the French market. So it's like, yeah, there's definitely like some, you know, momentum going on with that. So you guys should definitely connect with more French speakers to see what you guys can cook up. And yeah, man, I really appreciate you jumping on this call. Definitely got a lot of value, and you know, it's good to like learn about these, you know, what's working in the French market, the crazy ROAS you can kind of make there with, with basically high ticket sales and with info products and the power of YouTube ads, which is, pretty strong. I don't think anybody in the French market is really using it, right? It's like a few guys, right? It's not very common.
No, it's not common at all. We are just few in the market, so that's why I enjoy
Maybe I need
the
to
opportunity.
translate my course.
Maybe you should do that.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, guys, if you want, subscribe to the channel. And I'll have a link below to Bastien's profile, and also I'll have a link below to book a call to learn about the YouTube ads course if you want to take your YouTube ads results to the next level. And yeah, see you guys later.